You ever find yourself looking for a four-leaf clover or, picking a lucky number just because it feels right? We humans, we're just wired to look for patterns, right? Especially if we think they might bring us a little bit of luck. Well, today we're going to dive into something pretty wild, a mashup of ancient belief, some old school Wall Street math, and of course, modern tech.
I mean, think about it. Every single generation has its own way of trying to make sense of all the randomness out there. From reading tea leaves way back when to using machine learning today, we're always trying to find some kind of meaning in the chaos. And what we're talking about here, it's a very, very modern spin on that ancient quest. So that brings us to the big question, the one that kicks this whole thing off. Could the stars, the actual alignment of the planets, hint at a winning lottery ticket? Yeah, I know it sounds like total fantasy, right? But believe it or not, there's a pretty fascinating app out there trying to answer that exact question. And get this, it's not with magic, it's with math. Okay, let's get one thing straight right away. The people who made this, they're very clear this isn't about, controlling luck, because let's be real, you can't. This whole thing is really an experiment, just fueled by curiosity. The core idea is to take the ancient sky map of astrology and mash it up with this really strange mathematical system to generate, smarter lucky numbers.
So what exactly are the ingredients in this cosmic recipe? Well, on one side, you've got the ancient practice of astrology, something we've all heard of. And on the other, a geometric theory from this legendary and kind of mystical Wall Street trader. Seriously, it's about as unlikely a pairing as you can imagine.
On the surface, these two things seem like they're from different universes, but they actually share a surprisingly similar core belief. Astrology, right, it suggests where the planets are can influence your life. And the sky, W.D. Gann, his math proposed that these big geometric cycles, also tied to the planets, by the way, could predict when the market would turn. So in both cases, the big idea is that what's happening way up there in the cosmos can give us hints about patterns down here on Earth.
All right, so let's pull back the curtain on the more mysterious half of this equation, shall we? We're talking about this financial theory from W.D. Gann. Now, this guy was a trader back in the early 1900s who came up with this really unique and, frankly, some people say pretty mystical tool for analyzing the stock market.
And right at the heart of his whole theory is this thing, the Gann Square of 9. The easiest way to think about it is like a special calculator that turns numbers into geometry. It's this spiral grid where numbers aren't just numbers. They have these angular relationships. Gann called it a vibrational symmetry. He truly believed that any numbers that lined up on the same axis, like a straight line through the center, shared a kind of energetic vibe, that they resonated with each other. And building it is surprisingly simple. You literally just start with the number 1 right in the middle. Then you just spiral outwards, clockwise, 2, 3, 4, 5, and on and on. And as the square gets bigger and bigger, you start to see that certain numbers just naturally line up on these key geometric lines. For Gann, those alignments, that's where the magic was supposed to happen.
Okay, so we've got astrology on one side and this weird geometric number spiral on the other. The billion-dollar question is, how on earth do you stick those two things together to get lottery numbers? Well, this is the aha moment. This is how the app literally translates the sky into digits. It's actually a pretty cool 6-step process. So first, you pop in your birth info and the time of the lottery draw. The app then crunches 2 different star charts. Your personal one, the natal chart, basically a snapshot of the sky when you were born, and a transit chart for the sky at the exact moment of the draw. Then, the really clever bit, it looks for the strongest geometric angles, they're called aspects, between the planets on those 2 charts. From there, it gives each planet a weighted score, maps that onto the Gann Square, and boom, out comes a ranked list of your personalized lucky numbers. Now here's a crucial point. In this system, not all planets are created equal. Not at all. Each one gets a base weight. So for instance, Jupiter, which is seen as the planet of luck and good fortune, gets the highest score. Venus, the planet of harmony, is right behind it. This whole weighting system is really the first layer of the whole calculation. Okay, so after the base weights, we get the next layer of detail, and that comes from those aspects. Remember? Those are just the geometric angles between the planets. A really powerful aspect, like a conjunction where 2 planets are right on top of each other, will literally double a planet's influence. A nice harmonious trine gives it a 1.5 times boost. So these multipliers are what fine-tune the score for each planet, based on how it's, playing with the others at that specific moment. And this is the final, crucial step where it all comes together. The algorithm takes a planet's exact position in the sky,
which is just a degree between 0 and 360, and it takes its final adjusted score. It then uses that info to find the closest matching number on that Gann spiral. It's basically like translating a point on a map to a specific address. And that number? That becomes one of your potential lucky digits. So right about now, you're probably thinking, wow, that sounds insanely complex to build. And you'd be 100% right. But what's really amazing is how it was actually put together, which brings us to the tech that made this whole crazy fusion of old and new possible, especially for someone who isn't, a programming genius. This whole thing was built on a no-code platform called Youware. So instead of a developer hunched over a keyboard writing thousands of lines of code, the creator could just visually connect different logic blocks. Think of it like digital Legos. Seriously, you just snap the pieces together to build out all these complex functions. And if you peek under the hood, you can really see how it works. It's all these different modules. There's one block for pulling in all the astronomical data, another one that acts like an engine for all the weighting and scoring. A third block does that super important job of converting the degrees to the Gann spiral numbers. And then the last one just formats the output for, say, Powerball or Mega Millions. It's just a really powerful way to bring a super complex idea to life. So after all that technical stuff, what is this thing really? Is it just a lucky charm that's supposed to win you the jackpot, or is it something else? Well, the real answer is actually way more interesting than just spitting out some numbers. And this quote from the source material just nails it. This is an experiment, not a magic trick. That really gets to the heart of it all. The goal isn't to guarantee you'll win, it's to explore patterns. It's an experiment in what they call symbolic computation that just happens to be disguised as a fun little lucky charm. See, the real innovation here isn't some crazy claim that it can predict the future. It's the unique loop it creates. It links you, your personal identity, through your birth chart with something totally external, the current position of the planets. And then it translates all of that through this really structured mathematical geometry. That combination, there's really no other number generator out there that does anything like it. I love this description. It's half horoscope, half spreadsheet. And that perfectly captures its quirky soul, right? You get the personalization of a horoscope, but with the cold, hard logic of a spreadsheet. And the entire thing was basically born from one person's curiosity, just wondering, hey, what would happen if I connected these totally different ideas? So who knows, right? I mean, this is all just for fun, for entertainment. But it does leave you with a pretty cool, thought-provoking question. The next time you see a massive jackpot get hit, just think, could that winning ticket have been inspired by a little cosmic whisper from Saturn, translated through some century-old trader's spiral? It's a weird but kind of wonderful thought to end on.